A measure that I know you're a strong proponent of has finally made its way onto the floor for this particular session, and that deals with education savings accounts.
I'm excited to see us have it on the floor early enough in session that I think that we can work on the bill and move it on through the Senate into the House. And I know Senator Koenig has really worked hard. We both had similar bills filed last year. We both have similar bills filed this year. His is the bill that is moving forward, and we had it on the floor, I think, around 4 hours this week. I think they were productive hours. I mean, there were some of it that was primarily just filibustering the bill, but I think there was some productive debate that happened during that time. And I know the intention was that the bill probably would not be passed the first time it was up, that there would have to be some work done, and we'll go back to that bill, I hope, before too much longer and start working on it again. Education savings accounts are something that I think around 5 states are doing now. Ours is a tax credit education savings account because of the Blaine amendments. That was the only way we could do it constitutionally. And so it allows for up to $25 million of tax credits to fund it. The bill started out at $50 million. Senator Koenig negotiated with some of those who had concerns, and he has it cut back to about $25 million. It also requires that the foundation formula be fully funded before it's implemented. It applies to a limited number of potential students initially, and those would be special needs children, particularly those on IEPs, as well as foster children, anyone in the foster school system. There are a lot of needs there that are unique to those individual students and to their situations, and then also to military students because of the transient nature sometimes of those families and the need for them to find education opportunities that align more specifically to their special needs. It is limited, and $25 million cap will be probably maxed out very quickly, but it will give us a chance to find out just what level of success we can expect. It's interesting that in the 5 states that do have ESAs, the parental satisfaction exceeds 70% in the surveys that have been done. And I think that may be the highest satisfaction level of any of the education opportunities, whether it's your traditional public schools, charter schools, virtual schools, or education savings accounts. And matter of fact, I think this year the satisfaction level actually increased significantly in those surveys. And so it is an approach to education that parents really seem to like. One of the goals of any school choice options is to get parents engaged. I mean, that's probably outside of maybe one particular teacher that sometimes has a major impact on a student's life. Parents are the most powerful influence on whether that child will be successful in their education. And parental choice in education engages the parents. And so one of the things I'm most excited about is if we can move through the ESA program and begin to implement it in Missouri, is to see just how dramatically we see improvement in the students whose parents engage with them along those lines. The way that the program is set up, schools will actually get increased funding relative to the number of students because the amount of funding that will go with the student who's on an ESA is less than the full formula amount. And so they'll keep all the local taxes as well as a portion of the state allocation of funds. And I think that's one of the concerns that some of those who enthusiastically support the current model is that they're afraid that they're going to lose some money. I get disappointed sometimes that it seems to be the discussion is far more about the money than it is about the student. But I do think that the ESA will help move the focus onto the student. It'll demonstrate that different approaches to education, whether it's home education, virtual education, some other form of special tutor, or in the case of children on IEPs, even something like therapy with horses or other animals, the kinds of things that will help students learn. I believe we're going to see some rapid success in teaching young men and young women and preparing them for life once we get that program fully implemented, and maybe even in the future see it grow.